name is David Schnitzer, and this is my persuasive speech. Here's my audience. All right. What makes a society advanced? Is it the government passing progressive policy, or is it perhaps all about what its citizens demand from this government? It seems the more one thinks about the question, the more complex the answer seems to get. My goal today is to answer that seemingly simple question by convincing you of the importance of nonprofits like the Society of Science for the public, and why scientific literacy will be the driving force behind progressing our world exponentially. Of the million reasons I could talk about to sway your opinion on this topic today, I will be discussing two. These, I think, perfectly illustrate the true importance of this general mindset, which the Society of Science dedicates itself to by organizing talent searches, science fairs, networking groups, as well as producing science news publications for tens of thousands of students around the world. First, scientific literacy gives everyone the tools they need to better understand the ratio of risk to reward in their decision making. This in itself is the direct cause for my second point, which is that science savvy helps everyone to cope more easily with societal issues, as it gives you the freedom to make more of these informed and intelligent decisions when dealing with those problems. Everyone has to make tough decisions in life. We rely on our past experiences and knowledge to guide us through the decision-making process. But what if everyone had the tools they needed to effectively navigate through all of the pros, the cons, and other nuances that go into making a big life decision? Scientific literacy gives a person just that. One definition of scientific literacy was proposed by John Durant in an article from Cambridge University Press. He said, and I quote, "Scientific literacy should not be taken to mean the knowledge of a lot of science, but rather the understanding of how science really works," end quote. And this is the exact aim of an organization like the Society of Science for the Public, to make sure everyone has the tools to succeed in life by advocating for young people to have an education that teaches them how to use their skepticism and curiosity as efficiently as possible. As the world-renowned astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson so eloquently put it, quote, "The goal here is not to make everyone a scientist. You want artists, you want musicians, you want novelists and poets. But what matters is whether they are scientifically literate and maintain that literacy and that curiosity throughout their lives, no matter what becomes their profession." People think scientific literacy is being able to recite facts, and it's not that. The main part is, how do you look at the world? If you are scientifically literate, the world looks very different to you. That understanding empowers you, end quote. Now, let's see what can happen when this skill is put to use. Dr. John Paul Holdren is a physicist and environmental scientist who received his bachelor's at MIT and his doctorate at Stanford University. He served under the Obama administration as the assistant to the president for science and technology. Now, Obama was and is not a scientist. However, he knew how important it is when making decisions on something he is not an expert on, to have someone there who possesses the expertise needed to give logical and informed advice. Holdren later said in an interview with Stat, "I am biased in this matter, but I think it's a great advantage to have a president who knows how to think about complicated issues in science and technology," end quote. Now, it's great for the person leading a country to be science savvy, but that had to begin somewhere. The power of this nonprofit is giving thousands of kids the opportunity to learn things, the things that make a leader or a teacher or a woodworker more successful in each of their very separate worlds. But how does that help us specifically? How does having a basic understanding of science help you or me navigate all of the craziness and polarization that is so prevalent in the country and world today? Well, I'm going to discuss only one of the many answers to that question today. First and foremost, it is important to remember that science is not perfect by any means. It is, however, the best tool that we humans have to fight ignorance, as well as all of the other pressing issues creeping over our shoulders. The scientific method is a tried and tested procedure that gets us as close to true factual information as possible. And this goes for any topic. The scientific method is a way of thinking and nothing more. When you begin a journey into the teachings of science by way of the scientific method, you begin to realize just how much there is you do not know. This is humbling, but it is also important for all of us to be able to admit what we have yet to learn in order to avoid making decisions based on our neurotic need to feel like we are experts, no matter what the decision is about. Nonprofits like the Society of Science make it a core priority to instill this very humility in students around the world. In closing, through the Society of Science for the public, students are provided with the resources necessary to exercise their curiosity by being given the chance to take part in science competitions such as fairs, talent searches, and networking groups, all of which give these kids the chance to exercise and expand their scientific literacy. You can make donations of any amount you see fit to help boost this noble effort at societyforscience.org. I strongly urge all of you to make a donation to this vital organization today and start us all on a path towards progress and intelligence. Thank you, and do we have any questions from the audience?
What can I do to get more involved with the Society of Science for the public?
Well, there are two ways right off the bat. The first, aforementioned, is to donate, just to help this group aid in their effort. And then subscribing to one of the 3 publications that they produce through the website that I mentioned, societyforscience.org.
What are some other helpful tips I could use to become more scientifically literate?
Well, even if you don't subscribe to one of their publications, there are hundreds of online scientific news sources that you can utilize. But more on a personal level, it's important to always try to ask the important question of why something is the way it is, no matter who else might say different. This is an integral part of the scientific method. Thank you to my wonderful audience. All right, thanks guys. That's my persuasive speech.